Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is day 8 of the Leetcode Day Challenge. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord. Let me know what you think about this one. My my Yankees lost today. I'm a little bit sad, but it's only game 2, so we'll see. Man, all I did is sleep all day today. I could swear, I don't know what's going on. My apartment's a little bit smoky. I don't know if they're just cooking downstairs or something, but I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look at today's problem, and yeah, let's get started. 1963, minimum number of swaps to make the string balance. Medium problem. You're given a 0 index string S of even length n. The string consists of exactly n over 2 open brackets and n over 2 closing brackets. A string is balanced if it's, I guess it's just a regular balanced string. Okay. Minimum number of swap. You may swap at any 2 indexes at any number of time. Okay, so swap is always a little bit is one of those words, at least on Leetcode and competitive programming, you always have to read what they mean, because sometimes some people, some problem setter means swap is adjacent, some people don't, and they're not always clear, so you always have to be a little bit make sure that you read the examples and everything. Sorry man, I don't know. It's really smoky in my apartment right now, and it's like getting into my eyes and stuff. So that's why I'm like rubbing it a little bit. So my apologies if I'm just like a little bit slow. But okay. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, my intuition is going to be that it is greedy, right? But we have to be a little bit careful. So the first thing that we have to double check is that there is a way to balance it, right? Meaning, yeah. That's what I'm like keep going up and down and checking, is that they don't actually specify, unless I'm misreading it, they don't actually specify what happens if it is invalid. But I mean, and that's fine. Usually they mean it as in like if we have just just a regular unbalanced string, would we work? Invalid test case, but they don't specify that, right? I mean, we know it because we're talking about it, but they don't actually specify it, which is a little bit awkward. Oh, actually, I guess it's here. There you go. Maybe I just have trouble reading with all the rubbing in my eyes. But yeah, with this, then it can always be balanced. So going from left to right, what are we trying to do here, right? I think greedy works, right? Because basically the idea is that, okay, well, let's say you're going from left to right, right? And there are only 2 scenarios, right? If you have a left thingy, well, then it's always going to be good going forward, right? In a way, because you're never going to be bad going forward. And then the other way is that if you have a closed bracket, right? But if you have a closed bracket, the thing is that, and assuming that this closed bracket is not matched previously, well, in this case, you're going to swap it with a left bracket. And when you have a left bracket, you always want to swap it with something in the future, right? So the way that I always think about it is called borrowing, because in this way, you swap in the future. You don't even care about what index it is, but you're swapping in the future because you know that it'll get balanced. And because we can always add a stack, and we always know that if we swap, a closed bracket with an open bracket, we know that this closed bracket also goes to the somewhere in the future, right? That means that at the worst case, this closed bracket will match this current open bracket, and there you go. So that's really the key ideas behind this problem, and I think it should be straightforward after that, right? So for C and S, if C is equal to left bracket, then we're good. We're always going to be, well, yeah, and then here we want to keep track of depth. And you can do it with one things, and then swaps is equal to 0 as well. And then yeah, depth we increment by 1. Else if C is equal to then we have 2 cases, right? One is if depth is greater than 0, then we can just remove we match one of them, and then we continue. I guess we don't have to continue, type continue. But if it is 0, then we now swap do in the future, right? From the future. And here we can just do now the swap in 1, right? And the cool thing is that we don't actually have to care about when that swapping is, I believe. Watch me get wrong on this, but I don't believe so, because of the assumption that it is always going to match. In the future, this will just create more depth, but it won't, you know, it won't yeah, because I'm trying to think about a case where we have to keep track of it. I think if you have any doubts, you should just keep track of it, but I don't think you have to, because if you see one that is going to be swapped, then we just have extra depth that we don't need. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm actually curious. I can't prove it. I mean, I think in my mind it is right, but I don't have a strict proof per se, or rigorous proof. But I want to see if this is right, so that's why I'm going to YOLO a little bit, or at least I guess for the examples. I don't think so. Yeah, you don't even need to keep track of the swapped in the future, because at worst it just gives you more levels, and it will always match, right? So that's why it won't go below negative. It's a little bit of a weird thing, and I think in general, honestly, if you have any doubts about stuff like that, you should probably keep track of it. And by keeping track of it, I mean, like, you can actually do this in either way, right? Because if if you keep track of an open swapped, you could also say in a greedy way, because in a greedy way, it doesn't really matter when you match it to keep it balanced. So then the next time you see a left finger, you could just swap with that one. And I think that'll be okay too. So there are a lot of greedy, there are a lot of different ways to be greedy and still be right about it. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is clearly going to be linear time, constant space, because we just have, you know, 2 variables. And that's pretty much all I have for this one. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I'm going to do the weekly premium whatever thing afterwards. So stay tuned if you have premium, or even if you don't and just want to, you know, hang out with Larry. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I'm going to try to get some sleep early, or I don't know if just my eyes because of the smoke. But thanks for watching. Stay good, stay healthy, to good mental health. I'll see y'all later and take care. Bye bye.